Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Independence Day 2016. A lot of activity in the eastern Pacific, but no worries if you are along the Baja or the coast of Mexico proper here. All of these systems are bound to stay away from you. We have Agatha, which will weaken and be of no concern at all fairly soon over cooler water up here. And then we have now Hurricane Blas, the first hurricane in the northern hemisphere in quite some time. It's been pretty slack as of late. You remember we had Hurricane Alex back in January, and I have a tough time wrapping my brain around that one. It's more of an outlier than anything. It just kind of happened, out of season, weird time of year, but nevertheless there it was. So it's been a while. Hurricane Blas, the first hurricane I do believe in the northern hemisphere in quite some time, several months. And then we have a new system trying to develop to the south and east of Blas. Let's just check on the track for you real quick. I can show you. There is the southern tip of the Baja, and of course Blas will be heading out and away from that area, so no worries. One thing that could be interesting, it is forecast to reach major hurricane strength at some point, and that might lead to some swells propagating outwards towards the Baja, meaning additional surf for that area. So if you are interested in that and are surf wise, you know where to check things for that, check it out. You might have some additional big waves to catch over the next several days. All of this fits part and parcel with the climatological pattern. Usually the Southeast Pacific is busy this time of year compared to the Atlantic, where everything is basically spread out. Mute that iPhone over there. And really no one area concentrated over the other, not like it is in the Southeast Pacific anyway. A few clusters here east of the islands, but remember, these are origin points during the first 10 days of July, well over 100 years into the past. And you can clearly see that the biggest clustering is in the Southeast Pacific. Sea surface temperature anomalies for today. We have the cooling of the equatorial Pacific continuing, especially out here towards the central region. Fairly warm MDR, main development region of the Atlantic, even though it's cooled just a little bit, and this cool area up here persists, but very warm in the western Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean compared to normal. None of this any kind of big surprise right now. It's early July. We'll have to wait and see what happens as we get into the latter part of August and into September to really see if this counts for something. Actual sea surface temperatures here along the east coast, fairly warm from about Cape Hatteras and vicinity south. In the mid-Atlantic states up into New England, still kind of chilly, especially up here in the Gulf of Maine. I wouldn't want to go into that water with it being that chilly, but south of Hatteras, 80, 81, 82 degrees, and even higher than that off the coast of Florida. Here in the Gulf, very warm. These orangish colors in here, we're talking about almost 90 degrees, 88, 89 degree water temperatures along the skin, the very top of the water. Also down here in the northern Caribbean, the green areas are 30 degrees Celsius, so that matches up very nicely with this right here. Check it out, the Gulf of Mexico running quite a bit above the long-term average, as is the Caribbean Sea. Oops. So, again, it doesn't matter today because there's no hurricanes to take advantage of it, but if and when there are, that could be a problem. When will that be? Probably not for a while, although this is a pretty vigorous area of convection, tropical waves moving off the coast of Africa. You can see those outlined here, poking their way into the Saharan air layer. These are sort of intrusions of moisture that try to disrupt this otherwise stable, dry, warm, dusty environment that gets blasted off of Africa by these winds that propagate westward over time, bringing dust and sometimes even insects. If the Saharan outbreak is strong enough, some of those bugs, locusts, grasshoppers, whatever you want to call them, fall on some of the fishing boats here near the Cape Verdes, and sometimes birds get trapped in this. And when hurricanes develop out of those later in the season, some of those birds come westward in the eye. Interesting there, isn't it? It does happen. So things look to be quiet in the Atlantic for the next several days. The eastern Pacific, again, busy and not unexpected, but nothing threatening land, so that's great news there. All right, so things are going to be quiet over the next several days. Therefore, this will just be a Monday update for you unless something changes and I need to be back talking about it. I think things will be quiet enough that we can wait until next week. So with that being said, have a great rest of your 4th of July. Do stay safe out there, and I mean that. We want you back to be able to learn something from these broadcasts, video, whatever you want to call them in the future. All right? I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com, my website, and of course for Hurricane Pro and HD. Again, have a happy 4th, and I'll talk to you in a week.